And welcome to Hannity. Busy Monday night. The border showdown in Texas, that is heating up. It is now a constitutional crisis and a national security crisis. And Governor Greg Abbott, he's not backing down. He will join us with the very latest. Plus, the possible Senate border deal would be a disaster for the country. We're going to tell you why every Republican senator should be strongly opposed to it. But first, American soldiers abroad are under attack. 3 brave members of the U.S. Army, they were killed, and we had, over 40 more injured in a drone attack on a base in Jordan yesterday. One official is now saying that the drone evaded U.S. defenses because it was mistaken for an American drone. Well, that begs the question, what's going on with our military? We know our defense secretary spent days in the ICU. The commander-in-chief had no knowledge of it at all. Now there are 3 soldiers dead because of a drone proxy from an Iranian proxy was mistaken for a U.S. one. Now, since October the 17th, there have been at least 165 attacks carried out on our U.S. forces. You see the locations on your screen. How many more times do American troops need to be targeted and attacked before we have a president that will take action and defend them? After all the previous attacks and no response from President Joe, this now became inevitable, just like no consequences ever for Russia or China or Iran. All these groups causing chaos and destruction in the Middle East. You have Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthi rebels. They're all funded and backed by Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror. Former President Trump called out Biden for his weakness on Truth Social, saying, quote, "This brazen attack on the United States is yet another horrific and tragic consequence of Joe Biden's weakness and surrender." And speaking in South Carolina yesterday, Biden had an opportunity to send a strong message to his friends, his pals, the mullahs in Iran, in the wake of these deadly attacks. But instead, he offered nothing but this tepid response. Take a listen.
One last thing, I want to point out that we had a tough day last night in the Middle East. We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases.
Yes.
And I'd ask you for a moment of silence for all 3 of those fallen soldiers.
Jesus.
And we shall respond.
And we shall respond. This is pretty much par for the course with this administration, who, instead of using forceful deterrence, just had a simple message for Iran all along. Their message, whenever asked, well, what about Iran? Don't. Watch.
What is your message to Hezbollah and its backer, Iran?
Don't.
And what's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward.
It was very important to send a very clear message to anyone who might seek to take advantage of the conflict in Gaza to threaten our personnel here or anywhere else in the region. Don't do it.
I've already delivered the message to Iran. They know not to do anything.
Oh, now they know not to do anything. Don't becomes do, and nothing happens. Big shock. The strategy didn't work. Why would Iran, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, stop? There are no consequences for all their actions. Joe Biden's weakness is the reason that the country of Iran and China and the country of Russia are so emboldened. It is the reason we woke up yesterday to 3 dead soldiers and dozens others injured. Joe Biden is the appeaser in chief. Once again, Joe Biden, if he didn't respond the other, 175 times, what would the Iranians expect? Nothing. That's why he has blood on his hands. He has caused this. This administration has reportedly turned a blind eye to Iran getting rich with their surging oil sales, even as they remain under Western sanctions. That's basically Joe allowing them, to bring billions of dollars into their coffers, again, to sponsor more terror. Biden gave Iran, $6 billion as ransom payment and a prisoner swap. Then the Biden administration renewed a sanctions waiver, giving Iran access to another $10 billion, in this case from Iraq, in exchange for electricity sales. Biden is only enabling and appeasing Iran and their ability to fund terror groups. And the world better pay attention, because that same country, Iran, is desperately trying to acquire nuclear weapons. And by the way, they have now aligned themselves with both Russia and China. Would you be shocked if Russia and China would help them with their nuclear program? Because I would not. They are now enriching uranium almost to the point of being weapons grade. That's at least according to the latest assessment. I don't know if anybody really knows, but that is what appeasement does. As Senator Tom Cotton said in a statement yesterday, Joe Biden emboldened Iran for years by tolerating attacks on our troops, bribing the Ayatollahs with billions of dollars, and appeasing them to no end. He left our troops as sitting ducks, and now 3 Americans are dead and dozens now others are wounded. And sadly, I've been predicting this would happen for months. So that's what Tom Cotton said. So will we. And then to make matters worse, according to NBC News, the administration is discussing the idea of slowing some weaponry to Israel to pressure them into scaling back their military operations in Gaza after the worst terrorist attack in their history, instead of saying we support your war against terror. That's all you have to do, Joe. What is happening in the Middle East is devastating. And sadly, all of it preventable were it not for Joe's failed and very weak leadership. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.